If you're passionate about older games and want to run them on Linux Mint, you've come to exactly the right place. In this video, I'll show you how you can install Abandonware games, meaning those games that are no longer available on any digital platform. You can't find them on Steam, you can't find them anywhere. Those gems from the past that you might have played in your childhood and now want to relive. Before getting into the technical part, let's talk a bit about where you can find these games. The first option is to buy original DVDs. You can search on Amazon or other secondhand marketplaces. There are collectors who sell old games, and sometimes you can find good deals. The downside is that they are hard to find, prices can be high, and unfortunately there are also sellers who ship fake copies or damaged DVDs. So if you go for this option, be careful where you buy from. The second option is to search the internet on certain websites dedicated to abandonware games or on torrents. There are entire communities that preserve these games and make them available for free precisely because they are no longer being sold and there is no longer a legal way to buy them from the publisher. Unfortunately, I can't show you directly in the video where to find them because I risk getting a strike from YouTube. Once you have obtained the game files, whether from a DVD or downloaded, the installation process on Linux Mint is the same. Before we move on to the installation process, make sure you have a few things ready. Steam installed on your PC. You need Steam because we'll be using Proton, a compatibility layer developed by Valve that allows you to run Windows games on Linux. Proton does an excellent job, and nowadays it can run a huge number of games without issues. If you don't have Steam installed, you can download it for free from the official website or directly from the software manager in Linux Mint. A Steam account, you don't need to own any games on Steam. A free account is enough. The game files. Whether you have an original DVD or you downloaded the game from the internet, make sure you have all the game files available on your computer before you begin. I'm going to use Need for Speed Carbon as an example, a classic 2006 game that almost everyone knows and that serves as a perfect example for this tutorial. The process is identical regardless of which game you want to install, so just follow the steps and apply them to any title you want. If your game files come as an ISO file, the first thing you need to do is mount that file as if it were a real DVD. This is extremely simple on Linux Mint. Go to the folder where the ISO file is located, right-click on it, and select Open with Disk Image Mounter. Linux Mint will automatically mount the disk image, and you will see it appear in the left panel of the Nemo File Manager under the Devices section, just as if you had inserted a physical DVD into your computer. If your game does not come as an ISO file, but instead as a folder containing the game files, you can skip this step and go directly to the next one. In the bottom left corner of the Steam window, click the Add a Game button and select Add a non-Steam game. A new window will open. Click the Browse button, and now you need to navigate to the game's executable file. If you mounted an ISO file in the previous step, you will see it listed in the left panel. Click on it and browse through the files until you find the executable. In my case, for Need for Speed Carbon, the installer executable is called setup.exe. I choose it and click Select. Next, click Add Selected Programs, and the game, or rather the installer, will appear in your Steam library. Now comes an essential step. The setup file is a Windows executable, and to run it on Linux, we need Proton. Go to Steam, Library. In the left column where all your games are listed, find setup.exe. Right-click it and select Properties. In the Properties window, go to the Compatibility tab. Check the box that says Force the use of a specific Steam Play compatibility tool. From the list that appears below, select Proton Experimental. This is the latest version of Proton and provides the best support for older games. Then close the window. Click Play. The game installer window will appear, just like on Windows. Follow the installation steps, click Install, and wait for the process to complete. The installation may take a few minutes depending on the size of the game and your computer's speed. Be patient and let the process finish completely. Once the game is installed, we need to make a few adjustments so that Steam knows to launch the actual game, not the installer. Right-click on setup.exe in your Steam library, go to Properties, and change the name to NFS Carbon or whatever you want the game to be called. This is just for organization, but it makes a big difference when you have many games in your library. Now you need to find exactly where Proton installed the game on your hard drive. Open the Nemo File Manager and right-click in an empty space. Select Show Hidden Files. Click the magnifying glass in the top bar to open the search function and type the game's name. I type NFS. When you find the executable in the search results, right-click it and select Open Containing Folder. You are now exactly in the folder where the game is installed. At the top of Nemo's navigation bar, click Toggle Location Entry. This switches the graphical bar to a text bar where you can see and copy the full folder path. Copy that path, you will use it in the next step. Go back to Steam, right-click the game, and go to Properties. Now we have two important fields to fill in. Start In. Here you enter the path to the game folder without the executable name. Target. This is the full path to the game executable. It must be written in quotes and must include the executable file name at the end. Add /nfsc.exe to the path you copied earlier at the end, or whatever your game's executable is called. These settings tell Steam exactly what to run and from where to launch it. Older games, especially those from the 2000-2010 era, were designed for 4:3 resolutions, or at most 16:9, but without proper support for modern widescreen displays. If you run them as they are, you might see black borders, a stretched interface, or a locked resolution. There is a simple solution: Widescreen Fix. Search on Google for NFS Carbon Widescreen Fix or your game name, and you will quickly find a community patch. Websites or various forums dedicated to older games have such patches for many titles. Download the archive, extract it, and copy the resulting files directly into the game's installation folder. Be careful. If you are asked to replace existing files, confirm it. The patch will work automatically the next time you launch the game. Now, you can click play on the game directly from Steam, and it should launch perfectly. In my case, NFS Carbon runs great with no issues, correct resolution, and no lag. Once everything's working, you can customize the game entry in Steam to make it look exactly like a native purchased game. Go back into Properties and you can change the game shortcut. In the customization section, you can add cover art, background, and logo. You can find all of these on dedicated websites such as SteamGridDB. With just a few minutes of customization, your Abandonware game will look in your Steam library exactly like an officially purchased title. As you have seen, installing abandoned games on Linux Mint is not complicated at all. With Steam, Proton, and a few simple steps, you can bring classic titles back to life, games that you can no longer find anywhere in digital format. The method I showed you works for the vast majority of old Windows games. Linux Mint has proven to be a surprisingly capable gaming platform, especially with Proton constantly evolving. Games that didn't run on Linux a few years ago now work perfectly, and things keep improving with every update. I hope this video was helpful and that you managed to install the game you wanted. If it worked, let me know in the comments which title you tested. I'm curious what classic games you're still playing. Thank you to all the channel members. Your support means a lot to me and helps keep the channel going. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Linux Mint tutorials, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. See you in the next video.